Okay, so here I started off with the equation that I had. And at first I was confident that velocity would come after area, but I guess it has to be alpha. And I think you add or subtract that, but I don't know if you're supposed to. So I think I multiplied it, which is what I think you're supposed to do. And I subtracted x. I put velocity where the h bar is. T squared is right after that. And motion times acceleration, x to the power of y to the derivative of x. The constant derivative of x, maybe even. Semicolon x. And then Newtonian spacetime times kappa plus ke times inertia plus energy. Then minus force times minus force plus e to the limit. And do that. E to the limit of x times the derivative of x in total gives you a spatial field that shows you where the kinetic field is. Right here is a kinetic field, and then in order to get out of the field, you need to access a part of force right around here that can go around this and then bend time backwards over here so that it can go around an inertable area. And then after you do that, a lot of this stuff is kinetics, and a lot of stuff is stuff that you guys probably don't even know about yet. But this isn't what it's supposed to be right here. It's supposed to be up here. And the way I figured this equation out originally was in tangent, cosine, and tangent, or cosine and sine form. And what I did to it to make sure that the logic was correct was I square rooted it by the number 1, and it became logic 0. So anything after that, but if it was 1, it wouldn't be 0. So I square rooted 1, and it was 0. So it's a toss up of whether or not this is exactly how it should be, or that's just the answer. In the bracket, I have the congruency of wavelength congruent to half a wavelength in convergence with wavelength. I think it's convergence or divergence. And then the rest is what it should have been, as it said. I know you're thinking, how'd you make up Z? How'd you make up energy? How'd you make up force? How'd you make up... I have a lot of time on my hands, people, and it does not bother me to make up things that are just random in order for me to have them. Z is a plane that I knew about making in geometry. I would like to get credit for it, but I don't know if I'll be able to. Because there's a lot of people that probably will figure it out after I shed light on what times squared is. Which is right there. And then D squared is somewhere after it, but I'm not going to show it out to you guys. You guys got to figure it out for yourselves. And the rest is what I thought it would be. It starts with x squared, and then I think that's a contingency, a continuance, or a contingent. I forgot what it's called, but I know it's right in math, so I drew it a couple times, so it was right. And it's congruent to phi. And I had to get rid of the h bar right here, because I obviously use h bar squared first. And I made it into velocity, so let me just cross this off. input velocity, and then motion times acceleration, x semicolon x, or xy semicolon x. This isn't anything. X. I'll have to write it again. But this is most likely the easiest way of doing things in a spatial field. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is there a reason why you had to put inertia in there? And the answer is yes, because inertia keeps everything stable in the field. If it weren't for inertia breaking through the confines of the first kinetic field, or the first kinetic rotation, then there'd be no reason for it to be spinning in the first place, or rotating, or doing anything in the first place. So I'd say yes, it does have something to do with it. And energy is already in there because it's a source of, well, it's a source of what you would call bracing for certain types of dimensions. So I found this out all by myself. I am not a mathematician at the fullest. I went to a few classes at UWM. I think I might get somewhere with this, but if you could, I would love for you guys to vote for me, and I would love to see if it's possible for me to go to school next year, knowing the things I know and doing the things I've done, because I can't get enough funds together to go to a good school, or to go to a different school other than the ones that don't accept applications for scholarships and or universities. And I'm an older gentleman. I'm a 31-year-old man, and I would like to go to school so that I can get my life together and get going on things that I need. So I look forward to that, and I'd like to shed light on some stuff later on about how I made Z, or it's not an if, it's how I made Z in a plane of Z, and if anybody wants to counter it, I'd love to see it. Alright, thank you. Have a good day.